Full disclosure, our first drive of the all-new 2018 Hyundai Kona subcompact SUV lasted about 8 minutes. So this drive review won't ask more than 8 minutes of your time to read. Another disclaimer, we were in Seoul, and the prototypes we drove were Korea spec. The Kona is a global car that engineers say will have different suspension, steering, and general dynamics depending on the region where it is sold. In presentations as part of the global premiere of the vehicle in Seoul, it was described as having nimble driving for Korea, comfort for the US, and fun for Europe. Steering effort and dampers will be tweaked for each region. We drove the Kona on the handling course at Hyundai's massive R&D center in Namyang, about 90 minutes outside Seoul. The first thing we noticed was that the steering had enough heft to suggest this is a more mature entry into a hot segment, with quirky offerings such as the Nissan Juke and new entrants such as the Toyota CHR and the Ford EcoSport due late this year. The steering was surprisingly heavy and solid, and the steering wheel also felt substantial and comfortable to grip. We suspect the steering will be adjusted for the US. Our mini test drive included some uneven surfaces and crowned roadways. The suspension sopped it up fairly well, but again we expect it could change for the US, and there was some disagreement as to whether it would get stiffer or softer. Koreans generally prefer a softer ride, and Europeans prefer a stiff suspension, so the US could find itself somewhere in the middle. The standard engine is the 2.0-liter four-cylinder in the SE and SEL trim levels. It gets 147 horsepower at 6,000 RPMs and 132 pounds-ft of torque at 4,500 RPMs. It is paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission that puts it in line with competitors such as the Honda HR-V, 141 horsepower, and Toyota CHR, 144 horsepower. However, the pre-production models we drove had a 1.6-liter turbocharged engine that will be available in the limited and ultimate upper trim levels and is expected to have a 35 to 40% take rate. The engine delivers 175 horsepower at 5,500 RPMs and 195 pounds-ft from 1,500 to 4,500 RPM. That would give it the oomph to take on the Jeep Renegade, 160 horsepower. The upscale engine is mated to a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission,